Support for WYES is made possible by Mary Lou Kristovich in memory of her husband, William Kristovich.
I'm Peggy Scott Laborde, and welcome to Steppin Out, spotlighting the New Orleans area's arts and entertainment scene. Seated at our table tonight, soprano Sarah Jane McMahon, here to discuss her upcoming performance with the music ensemble Lyrica Baroque. Great to see you again, dear.
You too, Peggy.
Hello.
Thank you.
Poppy Tucker, host of the radio program Louisiana Eats, airing twice weekly on WWNO Radio. Hello, dear.
Hi, Peg.
Again. He's back, WWL TV film critic Alfred Richard, updating us on local film and TV production activity, and hopefully on the mend.
Yes,
okay.
finally on the
yes,
mend,
on
indeed.
the mend. And also, of course, Steppin Out theater critic Alan Mason. He's back, editor of the Crescent City Jewish News. But first up, Miss Poppy.
Well, we're going to start off with, we've got bad news and we've got good news.
Yeah.
And last Wednesday, just boom, out of nowhere, the Irish House closed. So Irish House is gone. Matt and Natty's gone too.
Yeah. He'll still do catering, Matt and Natty's, but we're going to miss it. It's a beautiful place.
Good news, though. The Mizzato Latin Kitchen is going to remain open indefinitely because they announced, I'm starting to think, any of y'all out there thinking about closing your restaurant, don't close the restaurant until you make the big announcement that you're closing, because then everybody shows up to show you the love. They've got a new schedule. Basically, what you have to know is there's no lunch or brunch on Saturday, and dinner starts serving 4 o'clock almost every day. So that's what you got to know about that. Now, big festival, of course. Now it's time for the New Orleans Oyster Festival, which is happening tomorrow and Sunday at Waldenberg Park with, of course, oyster shucking contests, oyster eating contests. Saturday, there's music from Bonarama and Flow Tribe. Sunday, Luke Winslow King, the Brassaholics, Bag of Donuts. There's food from over 20 vendors. How about this? The Desire Oyster Bar is serving an oyster boudin on brioche with Creole mustard, onions, and peppers, and an oyster Rockefeller hush puppy, or hush puppies, with an herb saint. Doesn't that sound good?
Collective,
with an herb saint aioli. Also, Grand Isle is serving smoked fried oysters with a garlic aioli. They've got the Redfish Grill has barbecued oyster poor boy. How could that be bad? And then you can top it all off with baked Alaska from Antoine's, because they'll be there serving that. More good news. The temperature lunch is back. I love the temperature. What is there not to love? This is the 23rd year. This is your personal reward for New Orleans rainy days when the temps stay in the 80s, because that means the next day you'll get a 2-course meal for under $9 at lunch.
Very good to
Monday through Friday. Great things like Gulffish ceviche, chilled duck breast with a black-eyed pea salad and soft herbs, and a crab meat stuffed swordfish. Sounds pretty good, huh? For $9 around there? Okay. Then also at the Palace Cafe, if you haven't visited their duck bar upstairs, it is home now to one of the largest rum collections anywhere. And on Wednesday, June 7th, for just $35, you can go to a super cool cocktail party. They're going to have special Banks rum cocktails. The hors d'oeuvres are divine. Shrimp corn dog with chipotle dipping sauce, lemon fish pastrami, tuna poke, wailaku, the Hawaiian word style. Ooh, at least I can say poke. I do know flatbread with eggplant tapenade. I know that one. But anyway, $35, really lots of fun. That's Wednesday night, June 7th. Then This is coming in the future, but the dinner sold out already, so I have to tell you all this big news. The Yes Ma'am after party is happening. There's going to be a dinner party that's going to actually happen on Thursday, June 15th, which is going to be all of the superstar James Beard award-winning power female chefs from across the country. I'm talking people like Tracy Desjardins. I don't know when she's ever been here. And so there's going to be an after party for the dinner that's going to happen at WYES from 10 p.m. till 1 a.m. on Thursday, June 15th, where they're going to have snacks and cocktails, and Abigail Gullo's going to be mixing things up. But this, I literally got on my phone on the way over here. On that same day, Thursday, there's going to be a panel discussion at 1 o'clock at SoFab that's free and open to the public. It's going to be all of the ladies from all over the country involved in this Yes Ma'am event. Kim Severson from the New York Times is going to be moderating. CJ Lotz from Garden and Gun will be there. And it's all free at 1 o'clock on Thursday. So take your lunch hour then.
Now, Yes Ma'am refers to the fact that it's all females.
That it's all ladies.
Okay.
And so that's why it's called Yes Ma'am. And of course, it all goes to benefit John Besch's foundation. And you know, kudos to Kelly Fields at Willa Jean, who just won her very first James Beard Award. So this is, you can really rub shoulders with the big dudes, the ladies of magnitude.
Thank you so much, Bobby. And New Orleans Magazine's quiz queen, Julia Street, has a question for us. Last time, Marjorie Stoddard named the statue that stands at Elks Place honoring a female who served in the Marines, and another which stands on the University Medical Center campus depicting a World War I soldier, My Marine, which was sculpted by Enrique Alferez, and Doughboy, commemorating the soldiers of World War I, recently renovated by the Monumental Task Committee. Now, tonight's question. Located at Pontchartrain Beach Amusement Park, this restaurant had a Polynesian theme. Name of the family that owned the park, and what was the restaurant's name? Email your answers to steppinout@wyes.org. Our prizes: a year's subscription to Louisiana Life magazine. Also, a tea towel with the message "to bisque or not to bisque" from our friends at wearablevegetables.com. And a pair of free admission passes to either the Audubon Zoo, Aquarium of the Americas, or Butterfly Garden and Insectarium. You can visit WYES.org for our online calendar to see our lineup of events. You can also link to our WYES YouTube channel to view our program in case you missed us. And now, before we visit with Sarah Jane to discuss her upcoming concert, here's a scene from the recent New Orleans Opera Association's production of Faust, in which she portrayed Marguerite. And thanks to photographer Craig Kramer and the New Orleans Opera Association for our footage. And now to Sarah Jane. Sarah Jane, you've been busy.
I've been very busy, yes, but it's all good things.
But what? Yeah, absolutely. But what a role in Faust and Paul Groves.
Yes, it was a role of a lifetime and a tenor of a lifetime to be singing with. I mean, he's just so musical and the most wonderful colleague you'll ever work with. And I'm going to get to work with him again with Lyrica Baroque.
Yes,
with our next concert, which is
He is, speaking of, so you get to see him again soon.
Yes.
Huh?
Well, that's actually Weston. That's not Paul.
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
But he's wonderful, too.
Okay,
He's
well, he's
fantastic.
wonderful. Okay.
He played my brother in the show. But Paul will be with us with Lyrica Baroque. I think it's probably our most exciting concert yet. It's our Opera Fusion concert. It's where chamber music meets operatic drama, and Paul and I are the drama. And we're singing arias, very familiar opera arias, as well as musical theater duets from West Side Story, The Merry Widow, La Boheme, and they're specific arrangements that have been tailored to our group by Ben Atherholt, who's our resident bassoonist.
Now, Lyrica Baroque is a group of folks who love to play and are professional musicians.
Correct.
And you all do this, almost quarterly, huh?
We do. We do about 2 or 3 concerts a year is what we do. And this one's so exciting because we're bringing in internationally acclaimed artists like Paul. He lives in Mandeville, but he travels a lot. So we're glad he's going to be home. And we have Bradley Moore, who is the head of music staff at Houston Grand Opera, and Eric Silberger, who is a world-renowned violinist. And it's at the Opera Guild Home, which is so beautiful. The perfect space
beautifully
for
renovated
it.
Up
June
here in
11th
Britannia.
at 3 p.m. So I hope everyone can come. You can get tickets at lyricabaroque.com. $50 for adults and $10 for students. So it's a wonderful opportunity for them.
Now, you have been a busy bee because in addition to Faust, you were recently at the Dallas Opera?
I was. I just returned from Dallas where I was doing a world premiere about Mount Everest. It was so wonderful. It's a new work written by Joby Halbert and Jean Shear, and it's based on a real story. Unfortunately, it's about a man who dies climbing Mount Everest. I play his wife, who normally would climb to the top of Mount Everest with him, but she's pregnant, so she has to stay back. And it's heartbreaking at the end because they have a phone call. She knows he's going to die, but he names the baby, and he names her Sarah. So I don't know. It was typecasting again, I guess. I don't know. But it's such a beautiful work. I was honored to do it, and hopefully I'll get to do it again.
Yeah. Now, we should also just mention, I know Alan's going to talk about it in a little bit more depth, but you're performing this weekend, too.
Yes, I am. On Saturday, tomorrow night, I'll be performing at the Tulane Summer Lyric Gala, where I kind of grew up doing shows as a child. I did Oliver and Kismet, and then went on to do West Side Story and Showboat with them. So I'll be singing 2 songs for them tomorrow night.
I think a lot of Orleanians have followed your career. I remember also you did a lot of Le Petit work.
I did,
and with
yes.
Sonny Bory,
Jesuit High School.
Jesuit High School.
I started. That's
and
my
the
claim
children's
to fame.
chorus, New Orleans.
Children's chorus. I mean, this is where I got my first training before Loyola and Yale. So I have a lot of people to thank in New Orleans.
And you also, of course, still sing in church.
Absolutely. Sundays at the cathedral. I love doing that. It's such an honor for me when I'm in town. I sing the 9 and 11 o'clock masses. Yeah.
Coming up, in the future, are there any roles like that one day you really want to do and you haven't done yet?
It's so funny you asked me this because someone just asked me yesterday. I would love to do Maria in The Sound of Music. I always wanted
You've never done that?
I've never done it. I always wanted to be Liesl, and I think now I'm too old. So I can move on to Maria. But that music, it just lends itself so beautifully. It's a classical way of singing, but since I am fortunate to do musicals with opera companies, it kind of works. And I love children, of course, so that's another thing too.
Absolutely.
Maybe my daughter could be Gretel. Well, she's probably not old enough, but.
Well, they're probably hearing music in your house all the time.
Oh, all the time, but she wants to sing, not me. She says, "Mommy, Mommy, I sing." So.
Okay. Well, we're thrilled that you are singing, and once again, Lyrica Baroque will perform Opera Fusion on Sunday, June 11th at the Opera Guild Home. That's right there on Britannia Street. And as we said, it's been magnificently restored. It's used as a special event. And this is the Ladies Opera Guild, Women's Opera Guild, who spent so much time supporting the opera. Wonderful.
Yes.
Thanks, and glad you're here.
Thank you so much.
And now it is time for our Art Spotlight. Tonight, we want to honor the memory of New Orleans artist Jacob Vincent Manguno, founder of Vincent Mann Gallery, who passed away earlier this month. Born in the Lower Ninth Ward in 1925, Manguno attended Holy Cross High School and enlisted in the U.S. Air Army Corps at 17. He was president of the first graduating class of the New Orleans Academy of Art in 1949 and studied with renowned artist John McCready. His work is in art collections all over the world, and we have some recent work. This one is titled Le Citron. Manguno opened his fine art gallery in 1972 on Royal Street, and the Vincent Mann Gallery, which remains, of course, in operation. This is titled Good Day. This was called Good Day, and his most recent works of art will be open tomorrow evening with a reception at his gallery. So you'll see that and Good Day and a lot of other great ones. Look at the details, vincentmanngallery.com, and our condolences go out to his family. And now, Alfred, glad to see you.
I'm glad to be back.
Bring us up to date, kiddo.
All right, and of course, Holy Cross graduate, so I also give condolences to Manguno. He was a strong HC Tiger. No offense to the Jesuit. It's always that high school thing there. As you well know, we always would talk about what's going on with Hollywood South. But in the last couple of years, it looks like Hollywood South has sort of gone on the wane. But to do one of my favorite impersonations of Gary Owens, we're now becoming beautiful downtown Burbank because we are now seeing a lot of television series taking the fray. I mean, that's the thing. You're still seeing a lot of tradespeople and actors, local actors and actresses getting in some work and even some side work there too. But it's interesting seeing it's no longer the big three. It's no longer CBS, NBC, ABC. Those days are gone. Now you have a lot of different players in producing series. Case in point. Let's start off with the first one, One Mississippi. It's already in its second season, and it's being done by Amazon Prime. Now, if you're just thinking of Amazon as being able to deliver your packages and maybe through a drone, not necessarily. They're doing some very good production and television work there. Again, One Mississippi in production now in this area. And TNT has been a good friend of Louisiana and of Hollywood South, or New Orleans, Burbank South. You have Claws, which is shooting now for its first season. Claws is a story about, of all things, a Florida beauty and nail salon, but with some interesting characters involved in it. Niecy Nash, who many people remember from Reno 911, she didn't wear the type of shorts that Lieutenant Dan wore in that film, in that series. Also, Carrie Preston and Dean Norris star in it, so it expects to be in front of the cameras this year and be on TV later this fall. Also, Oprah Winfrey has been developing with her Oprah OWN network, Queen Sugar, in its second season. And again, good work there. And it's great seeing that programs such as Amazon and TNT and others are doing something other than what the big networks used to do. They're filling that niche because a lot of people are calling this the golden age of television again, a second golden age, because we have so many different programs. House of Cards, for example, or Netflix.
It happened this week.
Yes, it's hard to believe. But can House of Cards actually keep up with what's going on in the real Washington, D.C.?
Let me just say, it's trying.
It's trying.
Okay.
But Seth Rogen, we've all known him. He's done some good work and some funny work, especially in this area. He is an executive producer in the series that's on AMC. It's called Preacher. And Preacher is now going into its second season, and quirky is definitely the case there. This man in the cloth has some definite skeletons in his background in there, but it looks like, Alan, you know of this series quite well.
Yeah.
But I really like Preacher, again, season 2. And strangely enough, the veteran of all of them is a network series, and that is CBS's NCIS New Orleans.
Yes.
And I have to get a cheap plug for the 610 Stompers. We were in episode of NCIS New Orleans, and they were saying, oh my God, these guys, and they're dancing.
They also do a lot of community work, a lot of CCH Pounder, appears at fundraisers, and a lot of them do that.
Lucas Black, and of course Scott Bakula, who's taken the reins. This show has really been, I guess you could say, the anchor for production in New Orleans, and it's kept going even when the movie production started draining off. But again, NCIS New Orleans renewed for season 3, and will probably keep going as long as
people are watching.
The big thing that's coming up is a mini-series that really, really looks good. Remember, FX has come out with a lot of good work, including the American crime story, The People versus O.J. Simpson. Well, they're now going at an issue that is close to all of our hearts, American crime story, Katrina. They are going to take on what happened in the prior and the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina. And listen to this casting. Annette Bening is going to take on the role of Kathleen Babineau Blanco, Governor Blanco. And so she's going to be there as well. No sign yet of who is going to be listed as Mayor Nagin in the film. Also, Sarah Paulson, our good friend, is going to be a part of the American crime story, Katrina story. And a man who I really like, but his role he's going to really have trouble dealing with. Matthew Broderick, he is taking on Brownie. He's going to be, and Brownie, you did a heck of a job. And so he's going to be Brownie. So he might be the most hated actor in this area, but expect a lot of good things with Katrina, American crime story. If they do as well as they did with The People versus O.J. Simpson, expect a lot of golden trophies, Emmys, going their way next year. As for the films, again, there are only a couple. As I said, the film production has really drained off here. But the big one is Underwater, and the star Kristen Stewart. Now, we, of course, may remember her from the Twilight series, but she is the star of this one here, and also T.J. Miller is also a part of the Underwater cast, and they are filming production now, and they hope to get that before the big screens later this year. And Jim Caviezel, we remember from Person of Interest on CBS, and of course he was Jesus Christ in the Passion of the Christ. There is and Bacchus, yes, that's right. He was king of Bacchus. He is in a Navy SEALs film, but has not gotten a title yet. It is in production, but Jim Caviezel, definitely a very strong actor in this. And again, although the film part of Hollywood South seems to have drained off a lot, we have a lot of television productions here, and so they're filling in.
Thank you. By the way, speaking of FX, I am hooked on Fargo.
Oh, goodness.
Not exactly something that would be set in New Orleans, to say the
No,
least.
we can't do Fargo. For some reason, we can't do Minnesota, but it is beautiful.
Yes, no snow, or very little, right? Alan?
Well, and I noticed also some of our local actors were in Underground, and it was just announced that they're going to cancel that series. So, you know, sometimes we go up, sometimes we go down.
Yes.
There are, however, 2 regional premieres that I wanted to let everybody know about coming up in the next 2 weeks. Very exciting times. First of all, Southern Rep is taking on Pulitzer Prize-winning playwright Suzanne Laurie Parks, and Father Comes Home from the Wars, Parts 1, 2, and 3. It's directed by Valerie Curtis Newton, and you may remember that name because she's the one who directed John Bigonet's Shotgun here in 2009, and a little bit before that, Lance Nichols starred in her direction of Yellow Man. So it's a retelling of the Odysseus tale, if you will. It's reset, however, in the Civil War, the American Civil War. There's even a character named Homer and a dog named Odyssey. The hero, of course, is Hero, who is a slave given an opportunity to earn his freedom by joining the Confederacy. It's a very unusual storyline, but of course it did actually happen in real life. The cast looks fantastic too, with Big Easy Award winner Robert DeKey, who of course is in it with Idella Johnson, Sam Malone, Harold X. Evans, Zeb Hollins III. They're just some of the performers. There'll be talkbacks after several of the performances to explore the themes of this particular play involving loyalty, freedom, and of course love. I will have a review on this. However, it's going to have to be a little bit of a wait for us because it'll be on our show on June the 23rd. But I believe this will be worth seeing. Again, Southern Reps, Father Comes Home from the Wars, Parts 1, 2, and 3. Meanwhile, Goat in the Road Productions and the Shakespeare Festival at Tulane University have teamed together to put on the Immortal Bards, The Taming of the Shrew. Directed by Emily Whalen from Goat in the Road and starring Andrew Vaught, also from Goat in the Road, as Petruchio. This production also features Devin Tyler, who is, of course, featured, as I mentioned, in Underground. You may recognize Devin from her prominent work also in The Illusion from last year and The Two Gentlemen of Verona last year.
Yes,
so again, she's a top actress, and again, I can't wait to see her do Katerina. I also want to wish Summer Lyric Theater at Tulane a big 50-year birthday. This Saturday night, that's tomorrow night, their 50th anniversary gala will take place, and lots of people will be taking part. People like Keith Clavery, and of course, we also also heard from Sarah Jane. A lot of people in this music department gala. Again, this is not the theater department. We have to remember that this is the music department at Tulane that puts this on. I thought we might take a little look back at founding artistic director Frank Monachino. We see him in Gilbert and Sullivan's Trial by Jury. The Music Man. This is coming up. You'll see Michael Howard, of course, who was the second of the artistic directors. He in a prediction of The Music Man with him. And again, later in the Mikado here, of course, the third artistic director is our present artistic director, Michael McKelvey. He's inviting all of those people who remember having either seen a show or whatever to actually, take part in this gala. It is really a great celebration. Saturday night, Dixon Hall, and local performers, of course, as we mentioned, Leslie Castay, who was just here, will be on there as well. Summer Lyrics 50th Anniversary Gala. Now, Terrence McNally's It's Only a Play gets its regional premiere starting up next week. I wanted to remind everybody, this is the second of the two that I mentioned. The NOLA Project is teaming up with Le Petit, and AJ Allegra is the director for this, It's Only a Play. Again, just to start, here's Ricky Graham, Alex Ates, and Sean Patterson, three of the major talents in this work. The full cast plays a group awaiting the reviews of the opening night of a show called The Golden Egg, and they're all hoping it doesn't lay an egg. Other cast members include Cecile Montaigne, James Bartell, Leslie Castay, Keith Clavery. And this is an almost direct from Broadway production. It starred Nathan Lane, Matthew Broderick, Stockard Channing, and F. Murray Abraham, among others. Again, It's Only a Play, very funny. It got very good reviews when it was on Broadway. It should be fun. I recommend you're trying it out. Don't forget also that the Patchwork Players are still at Rivertown Theaters for the Performing Arts, and they're going to continue their great work for the kids. They really involve the kids in their productions. They sing and they play banjo, which is, of course, Buzzy Podwell's trademark. Again, Hansel and Gretel, and then they're going to follow that up with Aladdin on their stage in Kenner. And lastly, a reminder that the very successful jukebox musical of ABBA, that is Mamma Mia, will make its final tour ever. They at least promise that. Okay, it opens on Tuesday, and they said it's going to be the last time that you'll be able to see Mamma Mia, so take that to heart. Perhaps it will be. You never know. It might be like Cher, the final concert, but we'll see. Okay. Anyway, it runs until next Sunday, and I hope we'll see all of you dancing queens out there. Okay.
Thank you. It's coming up next week. Okay, and now it's time for our picks. Sarah Jane.
Well, of course, Tulane Summer Lyric, and tomorrow is also the Crescent City Bridge Race. It's my husband's favorite race. So he will be running that while I'm performing at Tulane.
Poppy.
Also tomorrow, a 4-course Senegalese Creole fusion dinner that's going to take place at the Southern Food and Beverage Museum with the Commander's executive sous chef, Serene Mbai, who comes from Senegal, and Dr. Howard Conyers. It's going to be really an interesting event.
Alfred.
The Britannia Theater and several other areas with Fathom Events is going to be showing a special screening of The Godfather, the original Godfather, and get a chance to see it. It'll make you an offer you can't refuse.
Okay.
Just want to remind everybody also, aside from all that they're doing with Father Comes Home from the War, parts 1, 2, and 3, Southern Rep is putting on a free concert at Marquette Hall at their balcony, basically, and they're going to have it all through the month of June. Basically, just go check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people that are really talented.
In my picks, we've got some artwork that we're showing by artist Nathan Dury, who's a pop surrealist painter who resides in Charleston, South Carolina. There's something else to speak about, okay? And we also have another one, George, by Aaron Belka, and he and his wife Lena have been New Orleans residents since 2004. Both artists are included in the group exhibit Face to Face, opening tomorrow, Saturday evening at Lemieux Galleries on Julia Street, with an exhibit from 6 to 9 p.m., but it'll be on view through July the 29th. Visit the website for details. Thank you all. It's great to have you with us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for watching. Good night.